Good day, everyone. Good day. Greetings to you all. Welcome to the Peak Wellness Hour. We are a tad bit delayed, but we have some good information coming to you today. Myself, Angelina, along with CEO and founder Edith here. So, hope everybody's having a good week. Hopefully, we're off to a good start of the weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, something's going off on my phone. So sorry. Hopefully it's a good start to the weekend. Before we got on here and we were getting prepped and everything, we were talking about the Thanksgiving holiday season for those that celebrate that, and what's going on, what's coming up. But we want to chat with you deeper and give you something to be thankful for when it comes to your senior loved ones, all your loved ones, right? Life is precious, life is valuable, and we definitely want to take a moment to recognize that right now. Tell you all that we're grateful for you all being here with us. We're grateful for you subscribing and liking and sharing and just paying it forward. So we're going to have a good time today and have this conversation. Of course, Queen Edith is going to speak before we do, but we want to certainly give a special shout out and show some gratitude for last week's special guest, Miss Christy Kohler with Traditions Hospice. So we want to thank that her for her services, her enlightening us. If you all did not see that, I want you to go back last week and check that out. We were diving into hospice and the benefits of that, kind of tied it in with some home care and how we can link together and work together, right? And if you all remember the week before that and the week before that, we were focused on understanding the benefits of home care, which is what Peak Home Care Associates does. So maybe 3 weeks ago, we started with respite, we started with companionship and the benefits of companionship with your senior loved ones. And then we moved on to how respite services can benefit you, right? Then we had, again, Traditions Hospice in and gave some great information. So we're going to get back into the benefits of home care. And we're going to dive into 24-hour versus living care and give you some options on how that can benefit you, what works best for you, because different things work for different people. And that's why we have these conversations to empower you to make sound decisions alongside and on behalf of your loved ones, your senior loved ones. So I know this is Queen Edith's thing with home care and the living care. This is something that she has more knowledge in than I do. So I'm going to stop speaking. I'm going to let this queen speak. And then we're going to dive into the conversation. Queen.
What did you say? It's Edith's thing. Hello. Wow, it's the week before Thanksgiving. I wish we could talk to you about cooking, food, bringing grandma in, bringing grandpa in with all the cooking and stuff. But maybe Angelina will get us into some things, how we can involve our parents even in the cooking. However, thank you so much for your time. We don't take it for granted. We hope and pray that you're all doing well. Your seniors are all doing fine. You're taking good care of yourself. And knowing that if you are a pillar to the family, if you're a pillar in the family, until you stand firm, you can't support anybody. So remember to take care of yourself as well. Today, we are bringing the differences between 24-hour care and live-in care. Someone might think they are the same, but financially, they are not. Financially, they are not. Staff-wise, they are not. There is a difference. So this is our goal for this conversation today. We hope and pray that it helps you in making decisions. So I'm not going to waste more time. We're going to dive right into it. Queen, what is 24-hour care?
Didn't I just say this was her specialty? Didn't I just say that? I own the hospice thing. No, I'm just messing with you.
I know you.
So for me, with the 24-hour care, that is where you have caregivers in the home. And because it's round the clock care, right? And we're speaking 24 hours, we're talking about home care. Okay. So I know different things for facilities. And when we're talking about 24-hour care, as far as home care, we're looking at round the clock care. Someone's always present. A lot of times you see situations where you have dementia loved ones, right? You have those that are at high risk, maybe for falls, maybe for elopement, things like that. Grand Rising, Queen Kathy. Thank you for tuning in. Where you have situations where someone needs that assistance, but like Edith just said, the difference is with 24-hour care, a lot of times you have multiple caregivers coming in and out, right? So it may be an 8-hour shift situation where you have 3 different caregivers come in. Might be a 12-hour shift where you have 2 different caregivers coming in. But then you have to also consider that most people enjoy sticking with the simple 40-hour work week, right? So doing that round the clock 7 days a week is not practical for a lot of situations. So that means that you're not just getting 3 different caregivers. You're getting about 5 to 6, depending on the situation, right? That have people coming in and out of your home to provide care. Okay. So that is my answer to that question. As far as
And that is perfect. And I will add to that. So like Queen Angelina said, 24-hour care is having different people coming into your house. So for example, you need 24-hour care. There are ways of doing it. The agency, a lot of these days, agencies are required to pay overtime. So because of overtime, they try to manage. Overtime is money. They try to manage the finances because a lot of the time they don't charge the client for overnight. Especially clients will say, oh, I like Angelina. I want to see Angelina. At least Monday through Friday, I want Angelina. So you give Angelina 12 hours a day in the morning, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Monday through Friday. That will put her to 12 times 5 is 60 hours. That's 20 hours overtime that the client will have to pay extra. Okay, for Angelina, since Angelina is the one they insist they want, then they will have to, in other words, they are dictating my schedule. So they will have to foot the bill for the extra time. It's something that will be discussed. However, if they are okay, we can have 3 people doing 8-hour shifts Monday through Friday consistently. And then maybe one person who is willing to live in your house do weekends. One of the policies of most agencies, including peak home care agencies, that we don't want to lock someone up 24 hours every weekend because they're gonna get bored. They're gonna miss out on life because everybody works weekends. The action, younger generation going out, parties, family events, a lot of the time is on weekends. So we like to rotate the weekends every other weekend. So you have the 3 people during the week, and then you have the weekend 24-hour care, or 2 people doing 12-hour care, morning, evening, morning, evening. Even then, we still rotate. So you're looking at about 5 to 6 people coming to your home because you have to consider backups. If there's a need for backup, we go around your team. We build a team for you. We go around your team. If nobody is willing to take Edith's shift, who comes in Monday to Wednesday, and she needs a vacation on Wednesday or Tuesday, and nobody can do it, or if they do it, they'll end up in overtime, then you have a backup team. So we are looking at quite a number of people coming into your home. Many people don't like it. Okay, many people don't like it, but that is what it's going to be. That's 24-hour care. The other part of 24-hour care is that you'll be charged the hourly rate. You'll be charged the hourly rate. Hourly rates range between $30 and $35 an hour. So I think the more hours you have, the lesser it goes. So your hourly rate will be approximately, let's just say $30 an hour for 24-hour care. So 30 times 24 times 7. Okay. I can't go into Medicaid or Medicare because they may pay up to a certain amount or they may pay all if you are qualified. So 24-hour care is more expensive. So if you look at 24 times 30, how much is it? 3,600?
I was waiting when you started saying it. I just knew you were going to spit those numbers out. I was waiting to see what you were going to say. Are you looking at it? Are you doing it?
Well, 720 a day times 7. So it's about 5,040 a week.
About 5,000.
A week. It's very negotiable depending on what agency there is, but it wouldn't be less than 4,500 a week. Even if the agency goes down to 28 an hour times 24, it's 672 a day times what? Times 7 days, 4,700. It will not drop below 4,500. It will not. If you consider that you want to do that with overtime, you can do the rates. The overtime hours will be calculated for you if you choose to have one person do Monday through Friday or stick with the 2 people. We will work it out, it's doable, but the key information is that it is expensive. Now, do you have anything to add to it before we move into living care?
I do not, Queen. If you all see me looking down, I'm trying to manage the different platforms. So I am paying attention. I always say that, but I want you all to know I'm paying attention. I'm managing platforms.
Multitasker, yeah?
There you go.
You have a
Yes,
lot to
no, good point, Queen. You hit it around the head. So no.
So let's move to living care. Living care is you see, 24-hour care is possible anywhere. It doesn't matter whether your parent lives in facilities or not.
Mm-hmm.
If there are people in facilities who need 24-hour care because the facility can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say, okay, my mom is in a facility. In the daytime, they're okay, but in the night, nobody checks on her. She gets up all the time in the middle of the night and she's falling. So would rather have someone be with them overnight. Or in the daytime, they they probably have dementia, they're walking around a lot and nobody's caring for them and there's so much going on. We want mom to have care, or she needs extra, requires more care than the facility can offer. We can do that. So all of it is a discussion. The nurse will come, assess the situation, see what's going on, and consider your financial situation as well. Who is paying, how much you're willing to pay, how much you're able to do, what we can do, financially for you. And then we put all of that together to develop a care plan that best suits your parent. It's not everything fits all thing. It can be 12-hour care if you can afford the 20. It can be worked out, but this is what 24-hour care entails. And remember that the less the hours, the more you also pay. So all of those factors must be considered. The need of the client also plays a role in the pricing. So there are a lot of factors. So don't write it out. Don't cancel it until you have all the details personally tailored to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this live-in care. Live-in care means Edith or I'll say Sylvia because there's nobody in my company called Sylvia. I don't know anybody called Sylvia working. So Sylvia determines that she wants to do live-in care. One of the things I found out, live-in care, the person comes and lives, literally moves in. Well, she doesn't bring all her stuff because mostly they have their own homes. Some of them have families. They continue to maintain their homes. A lot of families think that because a person is living with me, they don't have responsibilities, so they need to be paid less. It is not true at all. They still have responsibilities. But before we go into that, live-in care, I come and live with you. I live in your home. I'm there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are various ways of live-in care. Live-in care, you are not charged an hourly rate. However, you are charged a daily rate. How much was it was 720, right? It was
Somewhere
720
around there, yes.
when you bring it to, let's just say, on the average of $30 an hour, it's 720 a day. Okay, so live-in care will not be that much. It's the person lives with you 24/7. That means that they will they live there, so they'll be using your utilities, they'll be taking a shower, they'll be eating. I mean, someone lives with you, when you go shopping for food, you must consider what they also like to eat and buy them. It's necessary that you feed them. Okay. They have to have a room, a place where they can sleep in the night. So with living, the person lives with you, they have to have a room. They have to have food. Okay, they will use your utilities. They'll take a shower. So water goes in. They might have a computer, phone, charge them, electric goes in. They'll cook, gas goes in, but they're cooking for your parents as well. So that's good. It is a bit difficult to do that in facilities 24/7. But I will break those details down. We'll break those details down later. But for now, I'll let Queen Angelina chip in with her, what she thinks about living, or not what she thinks, what living is to her, before we continue with all those details.
I agree with you. And again, it's based off of each agency that you work with, how that looks, but it's definitely more cost efficient. At the same time, those may not be your needs. You may not require someone in your space like that. So really having those conversations and configuring what works best for you is idea. We always want to save. We of course we want to save money. Who does not want to save money? But we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, right? That we're doing what's best for our loved one. I hear an echo. That we're doing what's best for our loved ones. And so I'll say this on the side. Just a side note, and I think I've said it before here. I've talked to a few clients, their families, where we talk about writing things off on your taxes. So if you are paying for your loved one's expenses, and a lot of times that's not the case, right? A lot of times, where's the echo coming from? Do you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. A lot of times, it's our loved ones' pensions or retirement or whatnot, Social Security, their benefits that are paying for a lot of these services. At the same time, you still have seniors that are paying for services that are still doing their own taxes. I mean, they still have taxes to file, right? So even with that, those things, there are ways to write a lot of those things off. And I say all that to say, don't be discouraged. Yes, 24-hour, live-in care sounds more feasible with that daily rate versus that hourly rate that can skyrocket. But there are ways, don't shy away from either idea without having the conversation, because we're here to help you as far as especially financially too, if we can, help you maneuver around those things. Paying for transportation for your loved ones, paying for, our services or home care services, whoever services. Like she was talking with the live-in care, right? And I'll have to do my research on this, but why couldn't you write off a cable, not a cable, but an internet bill. If you have a caregiver living with you and maybe you don't utilize it, your loved one does not utilize the internet like that, but they need that internet to give care to, however that works, same with electricity, because you're paying for a service now out of your home, you're paying for a service that's being used, stuff's being utilized. So my point again is do not deter from either option based off of finances. If we could focus on what works best for your loved one and figure out how to make that work from there. And that's what I encourage people to do, is be open-minded when it comes to being a caregiver, and feel like you have some choices and some options. So we are here to talk about that with you all if you need that. And before we move on, you can see our information down below. Reach out to us if you have questions about how that works and how we can help you and apply that to you. So I'll land with that.
Yes, and as you can see, this is brought to you by courtesy of Peak Home Care Associates, located in Noblesville, Indiana. Our phone number is down there, as Queen said, and our email address, as well as our website. You can reach us through any of these electronic means, or you can simply call. That same phone number will get to us 24/7. Thank you. So, Queen, thank you for that clarification, like internet care, because mom doesn't eat internet. But honestly, every home has internet because um, mom may not use internet, but who is watching cable these days? To be everybody has streams, Netflix and all those things. So
I still
hopefully,
have an antenna. I do have Netflix, but some of these folks do have antennas and stuff because it's okay. It works. I like my antenna channels sometimes. I sit over with the client of ours and we watch, what is it, Gunsmoke. I can get that on the antenna channel. So it works for seniors.
but isn't that on live TV though, through the streaming? Just something to consider. So, because some streamings have live TV.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find some things. And yeah, he loves his gun smoke.
Yes.
He loves his gun smoke. Don't take him off of it.
No.
So yeah, there are things that our seniors like. So yes. So those are some of the other things, and wear and tear, bathroom use, all those things. But having said that, one of the things about living is this, because there's some people who don't care. They will live in all year round. But as an agency, when we send someone to live in with you 24/7, one of the things that we would consider is that after maybe 2 weeks to a month, they may have a weekend or a 3-day break. And then we'll replace them with someone who will come and do 3 days. So that will not do that person. So everybody will get a break, because otherwise, once again, we are thinking about burnouts, right? We're thinking about limiting burnout. So, because the more they live with them, the more familiar they get. It's amazing, because then they know mom, then they know dad, they know the routine down, they've got it down and everything. I know a family, we had okay, so let me, before I go there, then also, one thing we do when you have a live-in situation, your caregiver may have, if your parent sleeps at night, sleeps through the night, then it's easier on them. But if they have to take care of them really hands on all day and then stay up at night, it's unhealthy. It's really unhealthy. We've been talking about self-care as well. They will not be able to give their parents the best care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what many families have done is that in the night, so they will have another caregiver come in from like 11 p.m. at night to maybe 6 a.m. to give the caregiver a break. Or they'll come in sometime in the day, maybe 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., a 4 hour day, to give your live in caregiver a break. Because the more care the parent needs, both in the day and night, the less chances of this caregiver living in breaking down. The other option is have this caregiver be there Monday through Friday, living in, and then have the stay another person live come in 24 hours, which is over weekends. So these people can go and get rest. Monday to Friday will be intensive. They'll probably not get much sleep. They'll probably, be working all through and they'll be tired. So they go home on weekends. They can come in Monday through Thursday, have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and come in again. And that way you will still be paying the live-in care for live-in rates, right? However, you have two, maybe three. The reason I say three is that, once again, as a policy for peak home care associates, unless the caregiver specifically requests that, even that we are very skeptical. They are requesting it because maybe at the time they really need the money, the finances to take care of bills. They are behind schedule and all of that. The moment they catch up, and then they realize that I don't want to do this every weekend. So, as a policy, we have someone who will come and replace, come in the weekend, but it's going to be every other weekend. So you have two different people on weekends, and then the same person Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday to come in and take care of your loved one. That is better than having one person doing 24/7. Even though some people, that's what they want. I've done it. I've done 24/7 living. I lived with somebody for over a year. Okay, I've done it. So we're not proposing something that we've not done. I've done it. I know a lot of people who also do it. But these are the other options when it comes to living. That in that case, you have three people. So even if one person needs time off, one of the others from the weekend, if they don't have a full-time weekday job, because a lot of people work in corporate, money is not enough, so they find a part-time on weekends and do so. Every other weekend they'll come and stay there and make money. I don't want it to be about money, but at the end of the day, people have bills to pay, so they'll come and do their job and be there. It's helping. It's a mutual, it's a win-win thing, and they'll come in and do it. So that's the living situation for you. Have someone living 24/7. Occasionally when they have to go out, they are burned out, they take a couple of days off, or they take a block of hours in the day. That means that you pay for those hours hourly rate for this person. Okay, or they take a day or two off, or have two or three different people come in different times in the week to help, different times in the month, not the week. Because one will be weekday, one will be weekend, and alternate weekend. So three people to help, and that will save you a lot more money. Anything to add?
No. No, I wanted
Um,
to ask you, so since you've done living care, would you care to walk us through some of the typical kind of days that you've seen, that people that you spoke with that do it, that they've seen? What's a typical day on average? Some examples.
okay, so let's assume that the person you're doing living with is elderly who chooses to stay in their own home. Okay. The different options I gave work great. Edith will come in Monday through Thursday. Angelina will come in Friday through Sunday, 1 week. Okay. Letitia will come in Friday through Sunday the following week. So alternate. Edith is your regular Monday through Thursday person. If for any reason Edith has a problem and she can't come in Monday, maybe Angelina will stay up to Monday. Maybe we can have Letitia come in to do the Monday because they're also familiar. But so let's just say that the senior is generally okay, okay, but she's a fall risk. Number two, she can't cook anymore. Her house is paid for. She does not want to go for living in. Um, and there is the help. So let's just say I live with this person Monday through 24/7. Let's just say I live with her 24/7. So the first thing you find out is her sleep patterns. That's one of the first things you get to find out. Her sleep patterns. When does she sleep? When is she awake? My experience with the one of the seniors I lived with was she would wake up at 10 a.m. basically. Or sometimes she wake up for lunch, around 11 o'clock. Okay. So that means that she's a night owl. She likes to watch TV. She has TV shows that she wants to watch late in the night. Mm-hmm. Well, as a caregiver, you can also, it's like, I don't want to use baby, but it's like you watch the person's sleep patterns and you schedule your day around their sleep and wake patterns. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I live with, what name should I use? G. Let's call her G. I live with G. G wakes up at 10:30, 11. She's not a big breakfast person. So when she wakes up at 11, she wants her tea or coffee or her cereal, whatever it is she drinks. The next thing you want to know is what they love to eat. So what? What they love to eat. So the things they like to eat at breakfast, whatever time breakfast. Breakfast can be noon. I'm sure we all know that. Whether they like to break their long nights or fast, okay? So you want to know that. You want to know that after breakfast, what do you want to do? She wants to probably sit down and read her newspaper. Okay, let's not forget that they didn't grow up with computer age where they're going to go on their phone and what do you call it? Look for news. No, they want to sit quietly with their breakfast and read their newspaper, and maybe have the news on, morning news on, whatever afternoon news they like to watch. They're there. They don't want to be bothered. You can choose to a lot of seniors don't like to eat alone. They don't like to eat alone. So you will have to sit with them and have a tea, have whatever, or eat with them. What does the caregiver do? Okay, this person stays up late. She's a fall risk. Her TV room has she has this thing with all her snacks in. So watching TV is snacking. Okay. And so that's what she did. What I did at the time was that while she's watching TV, sometimes, depending on what show there is, if I want to enjoy I'll sit with her. But she'll tell me, Edith, you don't need to stay with me. I really want this time. Some people want the time to themselves. They really don't want to be bothered. That's one thing you need to know. You want to know that they want you here or they don't want you. And some people just don't. They want you to get lost. Seriously, a lot of seniors don't want to feel like someone here is watching over me. You have to be aware of that. Watching over me. So you're not constantly all over this person all the time. Unless the person has dementia. That one, you're with them every step of the way. They watch the TV as a routine. You help them get to bed and all of that stuff. So you have to know the person. You have to learn the person, what they love to eat, when they sleep, their wake time, figure out activities, hobbies that they love to do. I know those who love to go out for a ride. I don't care what, where, when. Just get them out of the house. Go for a ride. I had a senior, this particular senior loves once in a while will go out to an afternoon movie. This is pre-COVID. Go out to movies. So you have to know what they like, and you have to plan your day around their activities. Okay, so if you're a night owl and they're night owl, great. You all sit there and watch TV. Sometimes she's watching TV, you're on your computer, it doesn't matter. They just want to know somebody's there. Some don't want to feel like they're being watched. So this particular person didn't want to be watched. She really wanted me lost. So I go to my room. The good thing was that her TV room was directly underneath my bedroom. I could hear the TV. And one thing about a lot of seniors, they can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
The TV is blaring loud, really loud. So the moment she's ready, I set an alarm. I know what time she goes to bed. I set my alarm. Even if I doze off, I set the alarm. I hear her and I come downstairs because she was a fall risk.
Mm-hmm.
And every time she was getting up to go to the bathroom, she will put the TV on mute. That was my signal. Or she will call Edith. So then I'll come and help her. So, or check on her every hour or every 2 hours. They don't want to see, so you come and peep and you say, do you need to use the bathroom? Would you like to use the bathroom? Or you just peek. If they're comfortably seated, you go. So that's a typical day, what you eat, what you do, and all of that stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
You
I
don't have
know.
a life. Basically, it's her life and you're helping her live it.
Do you see situations where you are busy all the time with living, or do you think that it's just as if, I don't know, you were at home? I'm not comparing any senior to a child, but you know how when you're home with your children, and you provide care, they're in there doing their thing, they're watching TV, they're whatever they're doing. You cook when you need to cook, if you need to clean, so do you feel like it's more like that? Have you seen where it's more like being in a house with your child where they don't need everything, or is it where you do stay busy all the time or more times than not, to where
There,
you can find
there,
balance?
there are situations where you can stay busy a lot. Not all the time, but a lot.
Mhm.
One some seniors would find you something to do. Okay. I mean, we have a client, even at this time, when you go there, we don't have a lot of hours. Sometimes from the moment I walk in to the moment I leave, I don't sit, except to do my notes.
Mhm.
Seriously, I don't sit. With 24/7 living, there will be days like if you manage your days well, you have a break, you have an afternoon nap in between when your client naps. But it's a 60/40. You can be busy 60% of the time and not busy 40% of the time.
Mhm.
Okay. If the person is a fall risk, you may not be actively doing anything all the time, but you have to be around them all the time because anytime they get up to use the bathroom, anytime
Mhm.
they have to get up and do something, you have to be right there beside them. So
Right.
you may not be actively doing laundry, you may not be actively cooking and cleaning pots and pans after lunch or breakfast or whatever. You may not be actively, tidying up but you don't necessarily have a lot of free time because you have to make sure they go to the bathroom every 2 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's 60
Okay.
40.
Okay. Who do you think? And I know we, with Peak Home Care, we do not require you to have a CNA license. So you can have a home health aide license, companion certification, whatnot. And of course, we do train. But what do you think? Who do you think an idea individual to be placed in for long term for live-in care? What kind of people does that work for as far as staff?
This is what I say. Anybody who has the heart,
Hmm.
they don't have to be CNAs or HHs unless they have these clients have a specific. I was talking to a potential client, I think just a couple of days ago, and actually their home care requires a nurse, actually a nurse, but generally anybody who can work in a non-medical home care agency like ours can do
Hmm.
living,
Well,
can
I'm
do
thinking
the
more like
living.
characteristic, like like you said, you've seen some people that have families still, and may have to maintain their homes, and they do like 24-hour extended care. Who would you recommend? Like someone that doesn't have children, someone that doesn't have other responsibilities as far as staff. Because for me, I would want someone that's reliable, that can put the job first. So just in case, like you talked about earlier, when burnout happens, can you balance? Can you be responsible when it comes to etiquettes and caregiving, right? We all call out, me not so much, but people call off, things happen, but do you get people, where do you find people that are reliable? What kind of people does that look like? Does that look like college students, that instead of being in a dorm, they have this opportunity, now they can make some money and they can help? Does that not work because they're in school? What are your thoughts on that?
I like a matured person, but ideally one who is not necessarily married,
Hmm.
maybe a divorcee, maybe a widowed person. The reason being that, or maybe their own spouses work out of state.
Hmm.
Like your husband or your wife is a truck driver. They are gone Monday through Friday, right? So, or they are gone a number of days a week. So the days they are gone, you can make the time to do living. Your children are grown. Because of course, if you have little kids, who are you going to leave them to? Seriously, you'll be worrying about them and being on the phone with them. You have to get ready for school. No, that won't work for someone like that. So maybe grown children over 18 above who don't need you. Okay, you don't have a spouse who needs you all the time, or they can handle you gone 4 days or 3 days because during the week they also have their job, or so such a person who is married will not I will not recommend the weekends for them. Okay, college students can work with living, but the question is they have to know when to do their schoolwork. Okay, because they have schoolwork to do. When I did living, I was a student. I did my work at night. I did my schoolwork at night when I know my client is sleeping. Okay, in the daytime, I'm focused on the client. In the night, that's when I did my work. So if something is due um Monday afternoon at 12, I must make sure the latest by Sunday night, or Monday early morning by 6 a.m. is done and submitted. So I don't have to worry about that. You can do your readings and stuff when the client is sleeping, when it's a downtime, she has a TV show and she doesn't want to be bothered. You can do that. But if you don't take care, and in this day and age, because I live with you, it becomes some familiarity comes in, find that the person is on the phone all the time. So college students will work, but they really need to be coached, mentored to know how to plan their day and prioritize. So yeah, I think that generally I wouldn't recommend someone with kids that they have
Right.
to walk through in the morning to get to school. Be on them to do their homework. I would not recommend that. But otherwise, most people will do it.
Awesome.
And the other thing is, there are people who also are going through a life situation.
Hmm.
They can't afford to rent a house or an apartment. There are things going on. So, but they must have the heart. If I'm doing it because I can't afford it, and they'll come and treat you badly, then absolutely not. But
Hmm.
they may have the heart, but they have in a life situation. So it works. They can come in, live 6 months, and just get themselves together, or even a year and get themselves together. So they'll say, "We'll do that. I can do this for the next 3 months. I can do this for the next 6 months. I don't mind staying, blah, blah, blah." And that also helps. So it works out.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, another question for you.
Okay.
I know that you had an experience being the founder and CEO of Peak, where you were providing living, or not living, but 24-hour care to someone in a facility. So my question is, as a CEO and founder, as an educator in what you do, how would you advise a family when it comes to choosing to put their loved one in a facility versus um, considering live-in care or 24-hour care? How do you think that you would encourage them? Or would you? What do you think the benefits are or not in doing that? And how would you have that conversation?
I think we'll have to make time to do facility care versus not facility care, but moving to a facility and living in your home. There are a few factors we have to consider. If they're living in their own home, okay, and it's paid for, even if it's not paid for, when they look at the total cost compared to the facility cost, they also have to look at, okay, facilities feed, they don't worry about food. So if they have a live-in person and she can cook, you see, the challenge, the biggest challenge is that they really have to do their homework because there are a lot of facilities are coded. You know that, right? So if you're on this code, you can get this level of service. As a lot of the time in our modern day, I don't want to say people won't go above and beyond, but staffing is a problem. Staffing is a problem. So you go to a facility of 200 people, and on certain days, there are just two CNAs and maybe a QMA and a nurse on call. It's a lot. So it's not that they don't want to go above and beyond, but they have a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or maybe even three people. They have a lot to deal with. So depending on the needs of your parents, that's another factor. The need of your parent.
Mm-hmm.
You will end up, you could, and like you said, that someone was in a facility, and when they were going, I said to the one of them, I said to the children, I know your parent is going to need one-on-one care. They said, oh, it's skilled nursing, they have all the skilled care. Oh, she's going to be okay. All right. They go there within a short period of time, they call me and say, you are right, we need care. Initially, it was not 24-hour care. Of course, it was a couple of hours a day, but they still needed care. Then got to a point when they found out that when the caregiver leaves, this person, mom, dad, still need extra care. The facility is not doing what they said they will do. And this is not to put anything down. You have to know how much care your parents need. So you have to do your homework. How much care does your parent need? And will the facility be able to do it? A lot of
Right.
people say yes, but in this day and age, they won't. If they already have their own home, I promise you, it will be more cost effective than to have them move into the facility, pay all that money, and then end up bringing 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour caregivers around them.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be difficult to have someone live in the facility with them. It means that you probably have to get a 2-bedroom or have some kind of bed in the sitting area, all of that, because the caregiver has to be able to lay down and rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she'll be okay or he'll be okay. So there are a lot of things to consider, but ideally, even if it's an apartment, have an apartment and have a caregiver for them, I think you will save a lot more money At the end of the day, it comes down to financial bottom line. You save a lot more money if you can find the right person or the right people to live with your family. A lot of families put their parents, their seniors in facilities, and they're literally there all the time. It becomes a burden. Whereas if they lived with you look, if you have a home and you have an outhouse or a mother-in-law suite or those things, it's perfect. I
Mhm.
like to talk about Peake's plan of having a home, an intimate group home for no more than 4 to 6 people, where we'll give them intimate care. So those are some. I think we'll talk about that next week, God willing. But yeah, I think that personally, like, it feels to me, from my experience, it feels to me like it's maybe a cultural thing. The way people think is once dad or mom is a certain age, it's better to move them from home to a facility. It's almost feel like a trend thing. When your child is of a school going age, they go to school. They do this, they do that. So when my mom or my dad is this age, then the automatic thing is that we need to that's why it's important that we bring this information. It's not necessarily what it should be.
I
A lot of
certainly agree.
people out there don't know. They just assume
Hmm.
because the information is not out there. I don't know if I answered your question or not, but
Oh,
it has to.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right about that. That's a go-to solution for a lot of people here in the Western area, when it comes to facilities. So that, like she said, that's why we have these conversations and educate people. A lot of people don't even know what home care is, what respite is, what care, you don't know. So again, that's why we ask you to like and share, especially share, the like, and we appreciate it, but share this information because people
Yes.
just don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and it's strenuous. Even conversations about the in-law quarters, as we get older, do we want to have a home with stairs, in a basement where you have to do your laundry in the basement? Can you get down there? We need to have conversations. And as we're speaking to caregivers, um, that may not be seniors right now that are taking care of their senior loved one, this is something for you to consider as you're getting older, as I'm getting older. These are things to consider. Making preparations so that you don't have to um, transition out of your home because you can't get up to, even with the stairs, if you have stairs coming up to your door, are you going to be able to get up and down those stairs eventually? And if not, does that mean you are stuck in the house all the time and you don't want to go out because you're afraid you're going to fall? So many things happen with that. Now you have isolation, depression, all kinds of things. So we want to have these conversations with you. And as a caregiver, consider what your senior days might look like. I'm thinking about that at 41, making provisions, making sure I'm making the right decisions, to where if I need extended care, and outside care, I'm set up for success in doing that. So keep those things in mind.
Whilst you're talking about whilst we're talking about for mother-in-law kind of suite, there is another thing you can consider, that the ground level. Because
Mhm.
I know a family whose home, though it's up and down, the ground level is the complete home too. There's the shower, there's the bath, there are 2 bedrooms on the ground level, and there are no stairs on that level. So what
Mhm.
happens is that they can live on the lower level, right there, the garage level. The lower level is almost like a ranch. They can live there. So we need to think about these things. The things are changing. Really, a lot of things are changing. We are in AI time, and a lot of things are being done by robots. We may not know it, but a lot of things are being done by robots. Our shopping, we all living electronically. We don't know what might happen even in these facilities,
Mhm.
and people are not wanting to go. A lot of baby boomers. It's gonna boom. Home care, senior care is gonna be a big deal going on. Children are moving away from home. They're living their lives as well. So when you get there, will your children be able, not that will they want to, but will they be able? Because listen, if they mess up with their job, AI, a robot will replace them. So will they be able to give you the care that you are being able to give your mom? What
Mhm.
will what will facility care look like? you
Mhm.
know, and how much is good, because staffing is expensive right now. When I worked as a plain old caregiver, even up to 2020, like I said, I'm not a CNA, I'm not an HHA, because I never considered something I'm going to do, but the ways of God. But the point I'm saying is that I never even earned up to $13 an hour. I never did. Up to 2020, I never did.
Hmm.
We are paying 15 and up. Actually, at some point, our caregivers were the highest paid in the state, because if you don't pay much, you're not going to attract the kind of people you need. If you pay well, you're attracting everybody, but you get to, strain and choose the best for you. So there's a lot to consider. Accommodation, so if you have your home set up in that way, and of course you've been paying over the years, you may sell it, but how much profit will you make to take care of you? We need to consider also people are living longer.
Mhm.
People are living longer. You can have a ranch house where you and your two best friends, three best friends, will live there in your old age, and have a home care agency come in and support all of you, so you can bring your monies together and pay them. There are ways, and we need to talk about these ways.
Mhm.
Because if we're thinking of living in all these huge houses, and then you grow and you're not working, your pension is not sustaining you, or maybe you have some business, but you know what? Things happen in life.
Mhm.
Things really happen in life. So there's a lot to consider, I think.
Well said. Well said. And I know we are about out of time. We are hitting that hour mark. But I hope this sincerely helps someone, bless someone, and give you something to think about. You know, there's so many things, so many options and resources out there. Like Edith said, people don't know about. So we're definitely here to share those things with you and empower you, because I want to be treated. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I know in healthcare we say, well, would you treat your mother or father like that? Well, and I always tell people everybody doesn't like their mother and father. Okay, so I don't know. It might be a little worse, but I know how I want to be treated. And I go above and beyond to treat other people well, because you just don't know. You know, it's important to link up with the right people, to have the right connections. And that's why we're here in the virtual community having these conversations with you all, because we want you to know that we are here for you. We're genuine, we're honest, and we're accountable when it comes to caregiving and giving back. So, yeah, we hope this definitely helped you. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we're here every Saturday at 10 a.m. We might be a tad bit late, whether it's because I just start talking and forgot to hit the go live button 15 minutes later, whatever happens. But we're here though, So if you don't see us at 10 o'clock on the dot, stick around for a second and we'll be here. We love the comments in the chat, and that's why we want you to share. Because I know, like I said, if I'm looking down, I'm on my phone, I'm sending this to different groups that it can resonate with, because we want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your concerns, even if it's you with a friend of a loved one or whatever it is. It might not be directly, but your questions, bringing those questions to us, third party, might help somebody else, right? And you don't know if you don't ask. So we want to make sure we give you some variety. when it comes to caregiving. But if you have questions, we want to be able to tackle those topics for you and be a great support for you. So we appreciate your time and you listening. What you have, Queen?
In addition to questions, if there's a topic that you'd like us to discuss, we'll be grateful. If there's something you want to talk about, we'll be very grateful, because let us know. Let us know, and we will do our homework, we'll do our research coupled with
Mm-hmm.
our experiences and everything, and bring that information to you. Our goal is to give you the education you need to make educated choices without negating the need for you to talk to your healthcare professional.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing we say here replaces what your healthcare professional recommends. Nothing. Talk to your healthcare professionals as well. So, but I'm seeing somebody talking about Hulu Live.
When she was saying, when we were talking about streaming, that was earlier. She was talking about streaming. Queen Kathy B was somewhat streaming. We were talking about streaming and saving money with seniors. She was mentioning that because I said I thought Hulu was like $69 a month for live. Things are getting expensive, y'all, and they've been expensive. You know, we have to learn how
Wow.
to maneuver our funds to where we have a solid future. Okay.
I like us to make time to talk about. I know you were a coach, a wealth coach, and one of the things that I like us to make time to talk about, even for us, the caregivers, is talk about managing our finances,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
how we manage our finances, ways to be frugal
Mm-hmm.
without being cheap with our money.
Yes.
So, well, maybe we'll start next year. We'll do one targeted to, the youth, everyone, because credit is everything. And if you don't have good credit, these things, some of the ways we can manage our finances, even, caregivers, me taking care of my mom, I'm considering my finances. Someone is thinking, okay, so mom or dad did well. They paid this long-term insurance, but I didn't work like that, and I don't have the. What's going to happen to me? Or I don't have children, so what am I going to do? So stuff like that. I think maybe we'll add it to some of the topics for next year, and bring it. And so we'll talk about next year too. We don't know whether we want to do it every Saturday or every other Saturday, but those are things we'll have to discuss and see how best we can help with this community.
Definitely. You know,
So
really quickly, I wanted to say when you said that about expenses, all because your loved one has a lot of money from their pensions or their retirement doesn't mean that money should be squandered in caregiving fees. And I'm saying that we're talking about the living care versus facility. It might be awesome that, dad has, $500,000 in the bank, or five, I don't know. But when you're paying, $5,000, $10,000 a month for facility care, and then you still need home care, you still need wound care, and those things add up. That money, it's not lifetime money anymore because it's being squandered. So that's why with this conversation today with the live-in care, as far as having an alternative to facility care and being more cost mindful, that's something to think about because it might look like a lot of money, but keep in mind inflation. I think inflation is what 3%, is rises 3% every year. But your social security benefits aren't looking right. Medicare is looking like it is, so we had to be realistic when we're setting goals. And that's why we do want you to talk to us. Even if you don't think you need our services right now, the information's down below. You can email us, have a conversation, give us a call. Shoot, you can call. If you want, whoever you want to speak to, just let us know, and we can give you that information because it's important. It is important. Like she said, the baby boomer thing is here. We got a lot to talk about. We're out of time. We got a lot to talk about. So you all keep that in mind. Stay connected with us every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay connected with us throughout the week. I know Queen Edith's always doing lives. inspirational, spiritual content. Throw some wisdom in there, you know. So keep up with us. Keep up with the Peak Home Care Associates
Team.
page. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You said pick home, and I said team.
Oh yes. Well, I was gonna say keep up with our pages on
Yes.
Facebook, on YouTube, you know, because we try to put positive things on there. We're on Instagram, so connect with us. You know, we are here to empower you and educate you and support you. So that's all I say. We're going over time. That's all. What do you got, Queen? You want to close us out?
We appreciate you. It's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Find something to give thanks for. There's so much to be thankful for. So ensure that you take also time to enjoy family, enjoy friends, enjoy mom, and enjoy dad, because you don't know whether they will be here or any of you will be here the next Thanksgiving. So appreciate each other, love each other, and above all, celebrate each other.
I love it. And we appreciate you all. Until next time, take care.
Bye.